So we've hit the ground floor running, and now we just need to make sure that we finish this race as more than just the parasite's parasite. Welcome back to the Trading Desk. My name is Ebube, and this is the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. Here on the Trading Desk, we delve deeper into the nuances of HPO's industry as a follow-up to the more detailed coverage by Bankole and Ayo, which drops right here on the Popcorn for Dinner feed every week right after the industry episodes air. We're also going to be previewing the next episode and discussing not just what we know, but what we can expect. And today, we're going to spend some time discussing our favorite sad boy, Robert Spearing, and figuring out if he's actually going to be okay this season. You and I won't be doing this alone, however, as I am joined by a couple of guests who are not really guests. I know, I promised a gigantic roster. This is only the beginning. I have here with me fellow members of the Popcorn for Dinner team, Ebuka and Obiora. Our audio listeners will remember Ebuka from our preview of Industry Season 3, as well as our coverage of Invincible. And also his recent rant about how Queen Rhaenyra's side of the House of the Dragon does not know what they are doing to save their lives. Obiora, of course, will be our guiding light for Slow Horses when our coverage of that show's new season begins next month. So these handsome young men are going to help us figure out what industry has in store and if we should be worried about Robert. So, good day, gentlemen. Can I please suggest a bit of poise?
Morning. How are you guys feeling?
Listen, before I answer that question, I think it's worth noting. It's worth noting that I was there from the start. Industry
for Industry
episode 1. I was there.
Of course, you were there. There's nothing more on brand for you than Industry.
Honestly, I literally looked at my tweets. I'm not saying anyone should do this, right? But if you want to kind of search on Twitter, right, just search my username on Industry. I think you'd see. I think it's November 2020 or something. So go watch Industry. So I'm the super OG to this. But yeah.
That's why I had to call you here, because
I need my flowers, man. But yeah, we're good. I'm just enjoying the season so far. Really good stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have you guys on. Obiora with his finance knowledge, and Ebuka with his vacation he's fresh off of, fit for an investment banker.
I thought you were going in a completely different direction there, where you said Obiora with his finance knowledge and Ebuka with his knowledge of the other things Industry is about.
Listen,
I mean, hey, if the shoe fits. So yeah, how did you guys feel about the episode? I mean, I think this is a bit of a step up, like a ramp up rather, from episode 1. Same quality, but stakes are a bit higher. We get a bit more action. Literally, we see two people brawling in a ball pen. So yeah, I thought it was fun. More focus on Yasmin, a little bit more focus on Robert too. But yeah, what did you guys think?
Yeah, everyone is just kind of looking for some approval from someone. Either Yasmin, from Eric, Harper from her, bosses. Eric is under pressure, kind of looking for approval from, the board, and the actual CEO. I've forgotten his name.
Adler?
Yeah, Adler. There we go. Adler was on the trading floor. What the hell was that about? Just
I know.
chilling
I
and
enjoyed
vibing.
that very much.
He's always on the floor.
And I don't blame him. I enjoyed it too. No, it was actually great to see him come on. When he showed up, and then he had that one guy behind him that was just speaking Arabic. I was like, what's happening here? But then he starts actually working.
That guy is already a man after my own heart, because everyone was losing their shits and this man made sure to put his perfume on.
No, he was just there freshening up.
Listen,
that was actually hilarious, because he doesn't even talk to anybody like that. At the end, he just leaves with Adler, and I guess they're going to come back. I don't know, but it was probably pretty cool for the people on the floor to have Adler with them, and it was definitely interesting for us to view, because we get a sense of, okay, this is how this guy rose up. Yeah.
Maybe. To be fair, Adler, I kind of they look so in awe of him when all he did was keep calm and bullshit.
Just tell people to calm down and relax.
I mean, come on. He was very demure, very mindful.
He was very mindful of the situation. He said, you see how I pick up the phone? You see how I soothe our clients?
No, literally, when he was like,
talking.
"Good morning, everyone. Can I please suggest a bit of poise?" I was like, "Bro, this is why this guy is the CEO of this company. This is how he rose to the top."
I had that misconception. He's not.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not CEO. I'm saying CEO because that's kind of what like Bankley and Ayo kind of called him.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just easy to refer to him as that. But I feel like, at least to me, he's kind of the managing partner of like the New York branch, and he just happens to come here from time to time. I don't know if this company has like one person that fully runs it, and if they do, I don't know if they're in the London branch. Come to think of it,
there'll be a lot of degrees of separation between whoever the actual CEO and the actual traders on the desk. So that's a good point, actually. What else was in the episode? Rob is going through it.
Wait, the first 10 minutes of that episode were so intense, and I was like, oh my god, because I'd heard rumblings in the build up to this season that there was a Rishi episode, and I was like, oh my god, is this the Rishi episode?
I've heard about it too.
And Rishi's going through it as well,
bro. And then I think after the first 10 minutes of that episode, you think it slows down, and on second watch, I realized I can't pick who my favorite acting performance was from this episode, because I could say Yasmin knocked it out of the park, Roberts knocked it out of the park, Kit Harington knocked it out. He's
getting the best lines. You know this, right?
Yeah, he is.
His lines are crazy.
Oh, there was that really. I just like the dynamic between him and Rob, where he was like, "Oh, I think he just mentioned the share points being down like 30."
Yeah,
I think he asked was like 30 out of 40 or something.
30 out 430.
430. Then Rob brought out his calculator. So what?
He said, "Do it in your head, fuckface." He didn't even ask, "Why can't you do it in your head?" He said, "Do it in your head."
What did you read at Oxford? And he says geography.
Why? So is Kit Harington? Is Kit Harington posh?
Yes.
In real life?
Yes,
baby. I don't know. There's one stat about how like 70 to 80% of people in the British film industry are like.
He actually is.
Money
is a because I was
in a few ways.
Like my new hobby now is just watching any British show, and it's like, are you posh or are you not posh? So I want to start watching Skins, and that's literally all working class actors, right? And the alumni from Skins are just unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So is he posh? Because he's doing the posh thing really, really well. Like just everything.
Like I said last week, he's good at playing nobility.
That scene is so terrible because when he says, "What did you read at Oxford?" I know Robert read geography, and I'm thinking, what's the rudest possible thing this man can say? And somehow my mind never went to why. Why did he study geography?
This is actually the full like genuine befuddlement on his face. He's like, why?
I mean, Rob is going for it. Henry's going for it. Yasmin is going for it.
Yeah.
Kids is having too much fun.
What's Harper's boss? The one who manages everything. Anna Guerin. She's really going for it in this episode. So everyone is on edge, which makes it great TV for us, I guess.
So I've just taken a 3-day dose, non-visual. When he's sitting in the bathroom after taking, oh my god. Anyway, Henry Muck is clearly having quite a day, and this episode is obviously setting us up for a lot of stuff to come. They managed to go through the Lumi IPO crisis. They managed to actually come out with a favorable share price that leads to everybody making some money. Muck remains CEO of Lumi, and Yasmin and Robert are, doing their job as client managers. And I know this is something Ebuka has touched on before. The people who believe Robert is not good at his job, and to be honest, he kind of is, because if his job is to be liked, he's nobody seems to hate him yet. Like he's literally he keeps moving up. These guys are 4th years now. They still happen to be working in this building, so they must be doing something right. Okay, the one person who we all thought was good at their job is no longer working in this building.
So speaking of ability, it's good you bring that up, because I think after this episode, I'm firmly of the belief that Robert is at least second to Harper in terms of their jobs. because when everyone was panicking, he was the only one telling Muck, calm down, don't monitor this thing, let it be.
Yeah, and don't talk to the press.
Think about the morning Robert has had. To have that composure.
This is what I'm talking about. This is literally what I'm talking about. Because you know what? Let's go through Robert's day from hell, shall we? Okay, so I said a few weeks ago that Tyland Lannister was having the most stressful work day, but I think Rob's morning in this episode is seriously up there. He wakes up to dead Nicole. He has to dress up and then call someone about it. He's lucky no one came in before he woke up, first of all. Then he has to go deal with Lumi, right before which he goes to Pierpoint and has to deal with Rishi yelling at him. And he has to deal with Eric telling him, I am a man and I am relentless.
Oh man, yeah.
Then, right after that, he goes over to Lumi. And then he has to deal with Muck. Then Muck ignores him, maybe even challenges him, because Muck literally only calls Katie back and asks her to set up the meeting with the papers, specifically the guy from the Financial Times that we see, after Robert explicitly tells him, do not talk to the press. Anything you say could be construed as offering language, and it could be unfavorable for what the market will do. Then Robert is trying to get him to not answer this guy, to end the call, right? And then this dude says, he says, we're going to offer stock via the Lumi app. Even like that's when my own head started to just like explode, because I could see Robert's face. Like, he looked at Katie and he was like, this can't be happening. This is not happening. But apparently it was happening, because then the two of them are sitting in this kiddie playroom that I guess Muck is very grateful that they built, because who knows what could have been there in place of that for Robert to beat his ass with. But they have their little ball pen brawl, which genuinely had me out of breath with laughter. And on his way out, he gets a call from Venetia, which reminds him that he forgets the necklace. And he's like, oh my God, I forgot this necklace and everything. I need to go back and get it. He goes to Nicole's house. He's caught by Nicole's 15-year-old daughter breaking in, which is already a problem. Then he almost gets intimate with said 15-year-old daughter of Nicole.
I almost threw my laptop in the air when I watched that scene.
I was like, Robert, please, we've come far.
Okay, can I say something? When did you guys realize this girl was underage?
Immediately. For me, it was immediate. Like, there was no question. Like, genuinely, it wasn't even like, he keeps asking all the questions, like, and it's just one thing after another where he's wrong. He's like, where do you work? What exam?
I thought
you're 16, and then she's 15. Nah.
I thought she was in sixth form.
Literally, bro. God. Like,
yeah,
I was like, this something is very wrong here.
She had a uniform.
I feel like there was a way she was standing when she's first speaking to Robert, that you're like, yeah, this is a child.
You're like, I'm like, this is a child, like, literally. And so he narrowly misses out on this incrimination that would definitely lead him to jail. And this all happens in the span of a few hours. And then he has to damage control Muck immediately by going to fish him out of a disabled loo with Yasmin.
Was he on like something?
He was on something. He said he's microdosing.
Yeah. His mate hooked him up. I think the thing about this show is, like, for example, when he's talking with a journalist, where he was like, all these people from this part. I really love the way this show does class, and the kind of aristocratic nature of how these people get jobs in different sectors of life, and how everyone knows somebody in news, in different industries. And obviously when we get to the clubs as well, the gentlemen's clubs, there's also that aspect as well. And he's like, oh, did you go to that thing back I think it might be 2 weeks ago or something? And it was like, no, I didn't go. And it's just like, just a little Easter egg just throw out there. Really well done by the show.
It's like I was surprised not to see you there. It was surprising when I didn't see you there.
He's like, what's it?
Oh man,
it's
I feel like Robert.
I think the saddest thing, or the saddest or scariest thing, is that because I know this show has so far shown not to have limits when punishing Rob. My biggest fear when like that girl made a move on him was that, like, bro, you were hooked on her mother because she was a client. Do not become hooked on this girl because she's underage and you cannot leave. I was like, please. I paused when I see that.
Fight it. Like, we've come far. I feel like season 1 Robert would have actually struggled to leave this place. I low-key worry about this.
I think his head is just completely scrambled right now. I think the last thing he needed was...
There is a very, 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 and I say very 3 times because I mean it, very vacant look Robert has when the daughter says to him, were you one of her favorites, or you look like one of her textbook victims. It's so I actually got scared for Robert when I saw his eyes in that moment. Like he seemed
because
like he was
it's so
ready
many realizations all at once.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can imagine in that position, one of the first questions that comes to his mind is, wait, there were others?
Really good.
How
like,
many others?
face acting from what's his name?
Yeah.
Harry Lawty, I think.
Harry Lawty, yeah, he did a great job in this episode, man. I mean, it's crazy because when you look at all the implications of that interaction with Nicole's daughter, her name is Pip, by the way. It's tricky because he's the one who started the physical contact. Like he goes and like he touches her shoulder, trying to console her, and then she basically just jumps him, and then he's like, no, and then it stops, and then she tries again. He's like, no.
Does she tell him shut up? I think she tells him shut up.
She does. She says, "Shut up,
like,
please. I really need to be touched."
And I was like, wow. Hey man,
Yeah,
your
that was
mother can
crazy.
tell me shut up, not you.
That was nuts. Yeah, when she's like, I really need to be touched, I was like,
Oh, wow.
I'm running out of them, man.
Nah, the whole like, no, GCSE.
She now adjusted her jacket like Ghost St. Patrick.
Yeah.
But literally though, it's almost as if she was like she obviously she knows who she is and she knows that this guy is not her age. So she wanted to kind of like score this older guy, and then she'll go back to chapel and tell all of her friends, "You won't believe where I just was." It's literally on top of your mother's grave. Like, can we all just be guided?
Robert Spearing. No, I think there needs to be an entry. And I don't know how we're going to rank it, but Robert's day today has to be in top 5, top 10 worst days on TV. Because I just remembered he goes to the Gentlemen's Club. He goes to the Gentlemen's Club and he says something that I think is quite witty and fun, and and Otto is like, you're forgetting the laws of the place you're in.
All bitches should wear a muzzle at all times.
That guy,
like, bro.
I don't know his name, but that actor, right? He just plays
Otto Musty.
Yeah, well, the actor who plays him,
yeah.
That guy plays that kind of character so well. Like his eyes are like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? It's so
pure,
so
unbridled condescension.
So like, yeah, that's stuff. That's just
he says it, lets it sit, and then gives a little chuckle at the end.
Sit down.
Exactly.
Exactly like that. Exactly like that. Ubiora.
Nah.
Wow. I mean, all the stuff that's indicative of how people in Moston and Muck's position just, it just oozes real indication of their background and just their entitlement. I mean, just look at all the things that Muck said to Robert when they were having their scuffle, right? Yeah, I know his name is Muck. That's kind of amazing. I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it.
Alexander North, like, what are these names? Names of bloody Enid Blyton books, man. What's going on?
Literally, not the Enid Blyton books. Oh my god.
Oh man.
I mean, he says, what's something that he said on the call that I just thought was absolutely ridiculous. Muck was like, "We don't lose sleep over the whims of institutional investors. I respect the man in the street, not the man in the office." And I was like, are you an idiot? You should definitely lose sleep over the whims of institutional investors. What are you talking about? You're doing an IPO here.
Yeah, bro, that was one of the funniest statements, because I don't even know too much about finance, right? But the fact that on the eve of the IPO, where the man on the street cannot yet buy your stock, and the only people that can buy it.
It's that sense of entitlement. And I was watching an interview with Kay Harrington when he was preparing for this role, and he said, which is kind of why I was conflicted on whether I was posh, and he said he knew people like this when he was growing up. And it's that level of entitlement and things that they say just goes, and because that's how it's always been all through their lives. And the way he was acting, and like, remember like with the meeting with his board, where he was like, they literally told him to resign, and he was like, nothing's gonna happen. It's all gonna go to pass. Everything's gonna work out for the best, which it kind of did, because the share price eventually rebounded to favorable targets at the end. So got his way, and
Actually, one thing I wanted to ask you Obiora, regarding
P?
the way this episode functioned. Rishi and his role here. Can you help the listeners and viewers understand why Rishi was so stressed in this episode?
No.
Okay, so I have some thoughts on that. I'll let Obiora go first, and then
Go on.
I think Rishi has some extra reason to be anxious aside from Lumi, right? Because there's hints towards it throughout the episode where, because Rishi has always been high octane, whatever, but Eric was like, Rishi, what the fuck is the problem? And Anrash keeps mentioning something like how Rishi's getting hoes, and he was like, you're still long Sterling. And I think it's interesting that one of Harper's ideas was to short Sterling.
It's to short Sterling, yeah.
And when Adler asked for the P&L for the day, Rishi was unnecessarily aggy, like, oh, we're flat-ish. And then, I don't know, man, Rishi, something is up with Rishi. And it's not just to do with
I think for IPOs, this is like just any investment banker should slide into my DMs. If you're actually, I'm not getting there, but any investment banker should literally tell me if I'm right or wrong. But I think for an IPO, basically, right, you have a target price. All right. Ideally, what you want, I think their target price here was £4.30.
480. They wanted to close on 480.
But you wanted to open on.
They opened on 430.
So ideally, what you want is you want a little bump to 480. So this is kind of like where all the initial founders, seed investors can all cash out with that little bump, right? Because that's kind of like the target set as an investment bank. So what you don't want is you don't want it to obviously go below because you're going to lose money, and you don't want it to go too high above because it feels like you're leaving money.
Is that an overvaluation indication or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't feel like you might feel like you're leaving money on the table. So kind of what they calculated as the investment bank is 480 will be like the sweet spot for everyone to be happy. So yeah, that's kind of EQM, share offerings 101. I'm not really sure where. I think they might have had some like derivatives or something, which is kind of why they were on about like longing the sterling or something. But I'm not really sure about that case. And they're talking about interest rates as well. I'm not really sure how that feeds into the actual IPO. But that's kind of why Rishi was like
he in a different way aside from the IPO. Like there's something going on with his.
Yeah, that's probably like another.
I need to know why he's scratching his back so much.
That's
and I think we're going to find out in that Rishi episode. Which if my guess is correct, it's going to be episode 4. Because I actually did. I did watch an episode with Sagar Radia, who plays Rishi Ramdani, and I know that he alludes to the fact that there is a Rishi episode, and it just feels to me like it's something that's going to happen like in this first half, like right at the end of the first half of the season. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to how things go for Robert. I know we just said a lot about him, but I know Bankole was actually quite on the money this past Sunday when he talked about that call from Venetia to Robert, because she does actually have a woman on a web page on her computer when, like, in the background when she's calling Robert, and that's definitely Nicole. So I feel like she just found out about what happened to Nicole, and that could be interesting depending on what she knows about Nicole and Robert.
She's still aware of they're still aware of what Robert was seeing Nicole, because he had to like sneak out from Venetia,
and Nicole did try to touch Venetia, so that's a very
she's a serial like offender here. So
and one of the questions I had in the episode, and like it's good that it came up, was that I wonder if Nicole is still going to play a part in Robert's life even now that she's dead. And seemingly, because I didn't clock that Venetia saw that picture of her in the background, so it seems like
I think she might, because I mean there's actually a part of me that wonders if Nicole left Robert something. I mean, Robert wasn't even aware that she had family.
No,
I know he was talking to her about how like he just bought the house, and he's like, okay, maybe I overextended myself. I don't know if like maybe he's in her will somehow, or I don't know. That's something we'll find out if it actually is the case.
I mean, speaking of freaky frogs, actually there were 2 freaky frogs in this episode. We'll go to there was Mock. Mock was the first one with we're not kink shaving here. We don't do that on the podcast. You like what you like, but what the fuck was that scene?
What scene? That was very tame. He was just listening to the sounds. People
Did you
listen
see
to
that
rain
smirk
sounds
on
to
his
go to
face?
sleep.
Did you see that?
And
Like
Mark listens to pea sounds to get off.
he was like, he was like, it was like kind of like it was like meditate. It was like Don Draper in the final episode of Mad Men, where he was just he had this serene look. It's like, yeah, I'm in paradise right now.
And
Nah,
then
imagine one of your deal
country.
breakers in dating is water pressure.
Listen, man, you don't need a faucet once every other.
Okay.
Wait. I think the second freaky frog is I think this is kind of like what I've been sort of thinking about most is Yasmin's dad, because that's where the episode ends, isn't it?
Please, I don't like talking about this, man. Can I just say
Yeah, he's really unnerving, man. Like, it's really,
Charles,
really
I feel like every time we see Charles Hanani, we learn something new that makes us question, like, wow, I didn't realize I could be unnerved this much.
Yes.
Like, that's how ridiculous this guy is.
feel
Like,
it's
we've
sort of
seen a lot
person-
of things on TV, but and like, just on paper, Charles Hanani is not that crazy. But watching him, like
Yep.
Adam Levy's performance of this guy,
so good, man.
And he doesn't hide his madness from his daughter, which is
It's
the
all-
one person most people try and hide their madness from.
yeah,
So
the man is
it's
fully
very
him.
scary.
Sort of person
Yeah.
like you might go if he invites you out for like a night out, you might end up in bloody Hungary. Do you know what I mean?
I was gonna say Afghanistan. It's some,
How on earth did I
it's
end up
some
here?
backwater brothel.
It'll
in
be a story to
Afghanistan.
tell. That guy's a FAN, man. I think he's going to.
But you know,
I think he's dying in this season.
He's dying. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably.
I
he's
mean-
going to.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
think
already
that's
heard
the-
of Segala's theory. He believes that the man is already dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so yeah, we're
I-
gonna see if that's the case.
yeah.
Yeah,
gonna
I
say that's the
think
case.
either Osegali's theory is right and Yasmin did it, or he's the kind of person who, with everything closing in on him, would end it himself, and maybe Yasmin was there
Yeah, maybe.
or watched.
Because Yasmin
Maybe.
hasn't actually made any attempts to try and
Contact him.
find him, contact
But he's
him
poor now, so he's useless to her.
back in London.
Remember.
But still, though, she'd be
And
like,
he's also, generally annoying. I don't think she'd want to talk to
Yeah.
him.
ooh, maybe
That,
she
that would,
offed him.
because I mean, that would also bring more of this unwanted press attention to her. So I feel like that's the last thing she wants. But as Muck says in the episode, everything is built on nothing.
That guy's an
That's
actual
exactly-
wrong man. Nicking off bloody pensions. What's wrong with that guy? That is
Yeah,
some
I don't know.
real terrible behavior.
You're already rich. Like, you don't need to do that.
Do you know how peak it is? Like, do you know how funny this
don't
is?
need to
bro?
do that.
Do you know how funny this
But,
is?
oh well.
You retire at 67. Or where's my pension pot money? Psych, it's not. Get back to work.
And get this: you worked your whole life to make
whole
this
life.
man richer, and then you
make this
finally
man-
retire, and you
it's
find
like,
out that even your
Psych.
retirement has been making him richer.
He's taking that from you too. Yeah,
Nah,
it's-
that's foul.
I don't know. The guy needs to be stopped.
So 2 things I want to touch on before we leave last week's episode and look forward is
Okay.
I really, really loved Harper's tell Cersei I want her to know it was me moment when she called Eric.
That was
and
fun, wasn't it?
be silent. And Eric, I think Eric knew, like deep down, he knew. And then the second thing is like my favorite line reading from this episode. And it's not one of the popular ones. It's not one of the jokes. It's not Muck. It's Rishi, but it's not even any of the funny things he says. It's just when Adler's man walks in, Rishi's face, confusion, disgust, anger. When he says, "Who the fuck is this?" It's
that guy?
so perfect. Like,
No,
I can't.
it was
get-
actually great because I felt the frustration. Like, he's like on top of everything that's happening right now. Like, bro, who is this guy?
And the fact that he didn't even spend 2 seconds looking at him, he was just like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" I just turned back around. It's like, what? He wasn't interested
Oh
enough
my
to actually
God.
find out who it was. He was just like, "Who the fuck are you?" Anyway,
He's
guys, you're
actually
killing
going
me.
through it. He's going through it, bro. Like,
That was
Yeah.
some good. Yeah, that was.
we'll definitely be focusing on Harper in coming episodes. But yeah, speaking of
My
coming
queen.
episodes, episode 3. From what we know, it seems there's going to be some kind of trip. I know in the trailer we see that they're on a private jet at some point. I think this is going to be that time. And we know that there's some sweeping landscapes as well that we see. So I know that they travel at some point. I feel like that's going to happen in episode 3. and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Based on my discussions with Bankole, who has seen the episode but knows that I do not want spoilers, it seems to me that they're going to Switzerland for a climate conference on a private jet, which has such sick irony that it's amazing. Plus the fact that this is the most Succession industry has ever been. And I guess industry is definitely doing something right if they're getting Succession comparisons this season. I think there's a bit of an avant-garde feel to the way it's being filmed, with all the handheld shots, with all the chaos and all the jokes in the background. I think the show really has its own identity, and it's now kind of expanding its world a bit. So we see a lot of, lush stuff, a lot of real exposure to wealth, aside from what these guys were seeing with clients before on their day-to-day. So I'm looking forward to seeing that trip. I'm looking forward to kind of learning about what Muck has in store for them, because I'm assuming it's Muck's jet. And
it's got a new infatuation now with Yasmin, and
yeah,
I must say, like, this the cast of this show must be so lucky, because like they just get to film in, especially Yasmin and Harper, I guess, they just get to film in like really, really nice locations.
Yeah.
And just, go there for work, I guess. But
it is work. So I mean, more power to them. Yeah, what do you guys think we're gonna see?
Honestly, I can't predict, because I know very little about the next episode, apart from by the way, like what Iwe just said is a prediction, by the way. He doesn't know for sure that it's going to be the trip episode.
This is just what I feel.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The storylines I'm looking forward to seeing are definitely how Harper gets to harming Yaz. Because I think from the trailer you can see that Harper fucks over Yaz at one point in this season, which ordinarily would be bad, but I feel it's extra bad now knowing that Harper was there when her dad did his thing.
Yeah, that's an interesting revelation from episode 2, isn't it? The fact that Harper was on the boat.
Yeah, so it's like, Harper is going to do it again. So this is 3 seasons in a row now.
She just can't help herself. Like, I don't know, she just has this thing for screwing over the people closest to her. Like, what is that about?
She can't help herself, man, which is why I really don't like Harper.
Oh, you're not a Harper fan, are you?
No.
Oh my god! I mean, there's some viewers who are saying that there isn't enough Harper this season yet. It's funny because there's another cohort of viewers that's like, "Thank you for the break from Harper that we're getting."
Yeah, because like Yasmin is kind of so far this season has been more like the lead, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think the good thing about this show is, nothing bad about those other shows, right? But you're not really leading up to something. It's just, you just hop along the ride and see where it takes you. So, I mean, you ask me what do you think is going to happen next? I literally don't know. Like, I literally don't have an idea. I really couldn't say. And I guess that's like the good thing about this show is like, oh, okay, we're going to, the COP conference. Oh, we're going here. Oh, we're going here. And it's like, yeah, let's go. Let's see where this takes us and how it kind of contributes to the plot, which is, why I love the show. Why I watch the show another 6 times, because it's just...
And I'm also very, very intrigued because, to me, the layman, the IPO is done. Like, where do we go from here, right? Like, on usual shows, the IPO will be the thing driving almost the entire season.
Thing that everything is building up to, right? But then they started here, which is what makes you wonder what's coming.
Exactly. So I would like to see that. And I'd like to see how they keep the momentum. And it's easy to say, okay, they don't have to go high octane after they've done 2 high octane episodes, but humans are fickle. I am also fickle with them. And it's like, I don't want to slow down, man. This show just keeps giving its, momentum. I think that was the first thing I wrote down when I was watching this episode. They've got it.
They do have it. Yeah, but I guess we should call it here for now. We can all we can do now is wait and see what they actually show us for episode 3. So we're definitely going to be locked in. Definitely join us after the episode airs, as Bankole and Aya will be covering everything that you will have just seen in the episode, all the craziness that we're anticipating. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our newsletter. This most recent issue is about Harper, actually, and how we decided to psychoanalyze her hair because we're just way too academic on this podcast for whatever reason. And join us next time here as well on the Trading Desk, as we will be previewing episode 4 next Friday. See you then.